is the most valuable podcast, and it's valuable because everything that you're gonna hear is just the most valuable thing that you'll ever hear. And speaking of valuable, the guy I got with me right now, all the way from Wellington, New Zealand. Growing up, you guys know him as Trent. To us in the dance world, we know him as 12, my man.
1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick tock. You about to stop living, tick tock. I want you to remember me, tick tock. But the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me, nobody can hold me, nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
The most valuable podcast, and it's valuable because everything that you're gonna hear is just the most valuable thing that you'll ever hear. And speaking of valuable, the guy I got with me right now, all the way from Wellington, New Zealand. Growing up, you guys know him as Trent. To us in the dance world, we know him as 12, my man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Bro, thanks for jumping on, bro. Thanks for making the time. You guys just landed, right, not long ago?
Yeah. We landed. I landed last out of the four of us, so I landed at 1:30. And then feed, chill, and now we're here.
No, man. I appreciate making the time, mates. We were supposed to tee it up in New Zealand. I was over there for Krump Nats not long ago.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a video with you, but sports day.
Busy time, bro. Busy time.
Everything just got but I'm glad we got an opportunity to do it now. And bro, you're one of the top crumpers, right, on our side of the world, Australia, New Zealand. If you don't know, you guys better know. Start checking out the footage. You're a back-to-back champion now.
Yeah.
Krump Nats International Division. But I just posted on Instagram not long ago. I said, dancers, I'm interviewing 12 tonight. If you have any questions you want me to ask him, let me know and I'll ask him tonight. The very first question I got was, how did you get the name 12?
A lot of people have asked me where I got the name 12 from, expecting like a big backstory and all this stuff. But
so we're not gonna get one of those?
It's like real. I always upset people let them down. But so I used to be when Ruin came over to Treason, one of the first Treasons. He had his group called the Detectives.
Yeah.
And that was back in like the days where there were the bad guys and Ruin was kind of beefing with the Eyes and SK and stuff, the Impact and SK beef. And so he made the Detectives, and then he came to New Zealand for Treason, and he was picking like 4 people to become detectives and numbering them off, and I was the last one to get selected as the detective, and he gave me Detective 12. So that was like real big for me, like getting under, like back then, getting under someone from America was like big, like your name gets out there even more, you're known. So I was Detective 12 for a few years, or maybe like the first 2 years, I think. I was Detective 12, and then I was known as Lunatic back then, and that was my first big homie's name, and then he kind of left that name for me. And then I wanted my own kind of identity or my own name to build from scratch, and so I decided, like, I was trying to think of names, and I was like, couldn't make up my mind. I was like, why don't I just like take Detective out and keep the number 12, because the detectives weren't very active, or like they weren't very active as like a unit or a group. But I think it was around the same time as when Ruin was all good, like the SK and Impact beef died down, the bad guys and detectives thing kind of died down and stuff as well. So having like the detectives and bad guys thing, there was no bad guys in like New Zealand or Australia. So I was like the isolated one, like not even like the ones in New Zealand. We like had no one to battle as detectives and stuff. But it was a good buzz. Like I enjoyed it, and it was like a buzz for me at the time. And then I just took away the detective part and kept the 12. But I was always tight with Ruin. Whenever he came over, he's like family to all of New Zealand. The whole movement loves him. Like everyone's Ruin fans out there. Like we all love Ruin. So yeah, I always like rep 12. Just kept it as my own name. And then later on, my twin 12, known as Yak, he added AF after it. So it's like more of like we're really like we are 12, like we're so 12. Like when people explain things online and stuff, they're like, oh, that guy's like, he's like real good AF, like as am I allowed to swear on him?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
So yeah, like 12 AF is like short for like 12 as fuck. And it's like an attitude thing. Like we really are 12. You know what I mean? Like, and so when people see us, they're like, yeah, that's 12 AF. Like, yeah.
That's actually real dope because that AF was kind of like, it was like icing on the cake.
Yeah,
because 12, like, I love that name already from the start just because it was so different. It's like, I've never heard a Krump name like that, 12, you know?
Just 12, yeah.
And then I started seeing AF popping up. I was like, bro, this is bad.
Yeah,
I wish I came up with that.
It adds like a new type of aura or a new type of weight to the name, and it's kind of like catchy in a way too.
Yeah, it is. Because everyone says AF.
Yeah, and then I add the number, which is the same as like the hashtag. So now it's like our hashtag. Like whenever 12s post up, we hashtag 12AF, so everyone knows like 12AF. We know that fam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked out. So like a random name, it worked out.
See, that's what I mean. Like that whole little story you just shared. Like I didn't even know that. I didn't know that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that didn't know that, and that's actually pretty cool. But you were lunatic before this? I didn't know that.
I was lunatic before that. So
what was your first ever Krump name though?
My first ever Krump name, I was Baby Lunatic. Yeah, that was my first ever Krump name.
Yeah,
it was Baby Lunatic, and then I just made my way through the ranks, like up and down, like going up, and then you're dropped again, go back down here, work your way back up, and then eventually the big homie Lunatic gave the name to me when he felt like I was ready to become a big homie, I guess. Yeah, and then after that, that's when I went under Omen. After that, and then I was twin. Oh, it was like evil twin Omen or something like that. Yeah, not the evil, but I think I was that. Yeah, and then we took it more serious because we were all still learning back then. You know.
Yeah. What year was this?
This was I became an Omen in the 09.
Right.
Yeah, in the 09, 2010.
You've been around a while then.
Yeah. I started in beginning of 08. I started Krump when I first got introduced to Rise and stuff, but I was alone, like dancing alone. Getting out the DVDs, the 1.0.
Yeah.
When they came out, I was like practicing at home in my room and stuff. And then later that year, like me and one of my best friends, his older brother Krump. I can't remember his Krump name, but his real name was Psych. And my mate Jerome, we were dancing at school and stuff, and I was battling like the b-boys at school and all that.
Bro, so you're really repping for Krump.
Yeah, bro. There, I was like, I had one puzzle, bro, and I used that same puzzle every lunchtime for like 3 months there, and I just had all my boys have my back. Yeah. Every time I dropped that puzzle, it's like, it's done. I was like, I'm winning every day with the same puzzle. Bro.
Oh, that's crazy.
But and then I got introduced to the scene beginning at 09. I got invited to the first a Wellington session. It was a birthday session. Miracle's birthday session, his 20th, I think it was, and that was when I first got introduced to the Wellington scene, and then all at 09, done all that, and then 2010 was kind of when it kicked off with OA.
Bro, you guys got a crazy lineup there, the OA Army.
Yeah, bro, it's a crazy lineup.
I didn't realize how deep you guys were until Krump Nats 2018 when we battled you guys.
The Wild Culture
versus OA Army. And then that's when I like actually saw you guys in person. I was like, "Holy crap, bro! This squad is
got
deep,
names,
bro."
Names, A lot of people hear the name OA and they're like, "Oh, yeah, like that's the fam." Like in New Zealand, like, yeah, that's the fam. And then, but they don't really like. I don't think people understand like when they say that's the fam, like they don't realize what they're saying until they see us all together and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the fam." Like because they see who we are, like. The names that actually are in OA once we're all together, because a lot of people were a bit shocked when we battled Wild Culture. They were like, we actually like they hadn't realized that they hadn't actually seen OA battle as a unit before. They've only heard of OA, because we had. I think that was like I think that was like the second time I always battled in a fam clash. Yeah, the first one was against the Khans and Wellies, but that wasn't even our whole squad. Yeah. Oh no, it was the third because we battled mutinies at Cap City. Yeah, it was our third time, but we hadn't battled outside of Wellies as a fam. I think that was our first time.
Yeah, that was like.
Because we had our best lineup too. That was our best lineup. We had our heaviest.
Bro, like
that was present. Yeah.
Even for us too, because that was our first battle as a fam as well.
Yeah.
And that's why because it was against you guys. That's probably my favorite part about it was that we battled like top guys.
Yeah, and you guys are stacked too. Like you had some big names in there too. Like you got Erupt.
Hey,
Psych came back. I was like, bruh, Alpha 1.
Remember, because you called me out that day. Like I remember I was it.
Because we did a battle, and then we just wait for each other.
I think I talked myself out of that one. Bro, I was just at the Airbnb just chilling, and then I seen Trent mentioned you in a comment, and then I clicked on it, and then you were like, "Oh, that's us tonight, G."
Yeah,
like,
that's my typical call out. That's us, bro.
And then I did because everybody's online, they could see it, so I did sweet bro, that's us. And then when we found out it was like Wild Culture vs LA Army, we were like, I'm not battling. I don't want to do two separate battles.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what you
that's
were
what
thinking.
We're on the same thing. We're like, we might as well just wait for it in the clash. Yeah.
And then I ended up going after Omen, and then everyone was like, "Oh, the rematch."
Yeah,
I was like, "Nah, I don't really care about rematches." Like, he beat me back in 2015. That's that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a dope ass battle.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was a fun clash, especially seeing the names that clashed that battle.
Like you had to be there, man.
Yeah, and like seeing Psych come back, like when he showed up at Nats that time, he just walked in like that, and I was like,
I think you came up to me and you were like, "Geez, that's Psych."
Yeah, because I saw him walk in at Nats, and I was on the other side of the room, and I was like, I swear that's Psych. And then I think you're the first person I saw. I was like, gee, that's Psych. And then he came up to me, he's like, bro, I'm like a fan. What's up, 12? I was like, get out of here. No way, bro. I was watching you like back with his beef battle with Blitz. I was watching those YouTube videos. I was like, I was that guy.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was buzzy. And then I got to share a few rounds with him in the clash too. So I was like buzzing, it was crazy. And then Erupt was in there too. And then seeing him and Yak like clash in that clash.
Matchup too.
Yeah, and Alpha 1 and Murder, like that was rare. Like Murder's like he was there back in the day and he stopped for a while and he pops in. But when he pops in, he comes in and he just does damage.
Bro,
and he's got him at a good time. It's
like
crazy.
He
that
is
battle
as advertised.
Exactly, bro.
Murder, like.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a beast, bro.
Boost 12, yeah.
Yeah, but let's go. So going back, so Lunatic was your first big homie. What I liked about that's the real like started from the bottom because you're a baby Lunatic, and then you got to the point where it's like you can have my name now. You're ready for it. What lessons or things did you learn from Lunatic that kind of helped you to become a big homie now? Because you're a big homie, you got little homies, baby 12, girl 12. She's crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Girl 12, and then Yak. What kind of things would you say that you took from that part of your Krump journey to now?
One thing I learned when getting the name from the big homie is like making sure that the rest of the fam agree on it and like respect you as the next one to step up, because when it kind of happened real suddenly when that all went down, and then once I became like, he just gave me Lunatic and was like, yep, that's cool. And then I went to the fan page and everyone was a bit shocked, so I don't think anyone knew that was happening. And then I had to just tell them, I was like, if somebody like disagrees with it, or if you guys don't respect it, then we can battle. So I was like ready to battle, like show them why I was there, like I'm ready to take over that stuff. I thought I was ready, but at the time I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. And that's something that I learned personally as well, because I was like, if you guys want to leave, like that's cool, I understand. If you guys don't respect it, or if you guys want the name, like you just feel you deserve the name, then we'll battle for it. Because that's what it was back then. Like if you want names, you battle for them, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then so I left everything out there for the fam. Like I didn't come in like, I'm the leader. Like this is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna work. I was like, nah, if you guys want it yourselves, battle me for it. I have it, but we're all fam. I see us all as equals. But a lot of them left. They didn't stay under like Lunatic when I took over, and I think I only had 2 people that stayed, 1 or 2 people. One definitely stayed, and that was one of my bros. Like he was there from day one when I started Krump, so he was in Lunatics with me. And then yeah, that's when I stopped. I had no little homies for a while because everyone stopped dancing. Like all of them. I don't think there's any Lunatics that are Krump anymore other than the current Baby Omen or Tolupo. Yeah. But yeah, no one. I was left. Like everyone just left. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm really starting like just me, starting from the bottom. And then that's when I battled Yak, and then as Lunatic. And I was already in OA. I think Yak was in OA then too, already as well. And then after our battle, yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll be twin. I offered him Jay, but because me and him are so tight, like we roast each other. It was like, bro, that was a mean battle. I was like, yeah, bro, you should be Jay Lunatic. He's like, what? He's like, no, I'll be twin. I was like, all right, yeah, you're twin. He's like, sweet. They were like, cool. He whacked me that battle too. That was fun. But yeah, that's how he became twin. And then he was my first one in my fam that I brung in by myself was Yak. That's why he's still twin. Like he's my legit day one, my first person in my fam with me. So
he's the forever twin.
Yeah, and like yeah, 12s, and then when same as 12s, like I didn't get anyone else outside of Tama of Yak and Lunatics, and then I made the transition to 12 and dropped Lunatic, and then yeah, Yak came with me to 12s and he backed me with it, and he became twin 12, and then he helped me, like having someone like Yak there with me, bringing up a fam, an OG like Yak, he had like the most little homies in NZ at one point when he was Yak. And then there's like rainstorm I think, yeah, we had rains and storms, rainstorms. And then
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, bro, yeah. So me and him, yeah, he's helped me so much. Like I don't think I would be where I am today in Krump, or the knowledge in terms of building a fam and running little homies and stuff without his guidance behind my back as well. So we've helped each other a lot in Krump and life. And yeah, I didn't pick up little homies until I felt I was ready. So I think, yeah, I didn't pick up little homies until 2016. So 2015, I taught at a summer camp.
Bro, that's like not long ago.
Yeah. So I stayed, because I told myself, people were like, why don't you have little homies? Like, you should grab little homies and teach them. I was like, nah, because I don't feel like I was ready to teach. I was still learning a lot. And I didn't really take Krump too serious until 2016, after I became the national champ. I was like, damn, maybe I can like actually, they kind of worked me up. Like, I could take it a bit more serious and stuff. And then, yeah, that's when I got J12, and I met him in Pennsylvania, and I taught at a summer camp out in Pennsylvania in 2015 when I was visiting my mum in Boston. And then
wait, you taught in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I taught at a summer camp in Pennsylvania.
How did you get that gig?
Comeback Kids, CBK. He's in Pirates. He was under shutdown. He still is under shutdown. He's rogue shutdown now. And he used to teach at Camp Tioga in Pennsylvania every year. Him and a few other Kiwis, and one of his boys, who's now J12. They're real tight. They grew up together, danced together and stuff. So I flew over, and then Va messaged me. He's like, bro, if I could get you to teach at the summer camp, would you be keen for like 3 days or something? It's paid. I was like, yeah, definitely a keen ass. And so he teed it up, got us in emails with the camp coordinator and stuff, and he was keen as. Got me down there, and then taught, and I met and he helped me out there because Alex wasn't there, Comeback Kid. So he was like, Na's there, he's one of my closest boys, he's got you. So it was just a trust thing. I trusted Va. Right. You gotta take these leaps sometimes if you wanna like make it, you know. And then Na was real cool, looked after me hard out. And then when he came back to New Zealand, he hit me up and he was like, we were talking more, still talking. I was like, bro, like, do you want to be a 12? Like, because I was teaching him, I taught him a bit in Pennsylvania, so we were already on that kind of like that buzz of learning off each other and stuff. So yeah, and he was my second little homie, well, my first little homie, sorry. Yeah, I don't really see Twin and Deuce as little homies because they're like way before my time. So I'm like, you guys can be there, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's kind of a respect thing. But yeah, so like to me, yeah, J12 was my first little homie in 2016. And then after that, I didn't have little homies until the end of 2017. Nah, the beginning of 2017. Yeah. And then beginning of 2017, they all came through. Yeah. And I got like 4 or 5 little homies. Because they all came in together to learn at the same time as Buzzy.
Yeah, that's dope too. Like, I like how you mentioned you started picking up little homies when you felt you were ready.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a mistake that a lot of crumpers nowadays, right? They just want to build their fam, so they're quick to just pull people on without going through the proper... It's like an unwritten rule. Like, there's a way to do things, there's a way not to do things, and doing it properly would be the way that you're doing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You got to train yourself up.
Exactly,
learn,
I think the thing that helped me learn that was when I became lunatic, and then all the little homies left, and I didn't really know how to react or how to like say like, oh, like what the heck. And I did a few workshops back then too, like maybe 2, and I was terrible. I was like, I'm not ready for this. So because
if you really earned that name, there wouldn't be that much of a backlash.
Exactly, yeah. So I kind of took that on the chin as a learning curve, but it's difficult to have that mentality of like when things like that happen. Like I grew up with those dudes in Krump that year. Like I grew with them. We all started at the same time. We're learning together, all this stuff, and then I get given the name, and then they just left, and I'm like, all right. I thought we were fam, like, because for me with Krump, I took the fam side very seriously, as in like the word fam, the family 100%. Thing, and to see like that happen, I was a bit like, back then I was like, damn, but I didn't hold a grudge on them and stuff. Like I understood, like it's cool. Like I see them all around and stuff, and we talk, we hang, we chill, we have a good laugh and that, and we laugh about the stuff that used to happen all that either. So but it's cool. It was a learning curve for me, and it helped me like to how I'm a big homie now. But yeah, the taking time to understand like you're ready to teach people or pass that knowledge on. Yeah, it took me a while to get the confidence and like to understand if I'm ready or not. And Yak helped me out with that too. Like encouraged me to like, you can teach, because I was teaching Yak without even knowing. Like he's like, you've been telling me stuff that I've been using, like you've been helping me with my Krump. And then I was like, damn, like for someone like that, like with Yak, someone like Yak for me, because I used to like my first session was like heavy people, like crazy people, and I was just going to watch, and there was like the Angel fams, and because it was a birthday here, the Miracles were there, and that's when they were like big, and then the Yak Christchurch was there, Yak Khan, when they were at the top of the game, and like Point Dexter was there, I think, and then and JC, the one that took me to my session, Jacob Cook, he invited me. We went to the same school and stuff, and he brought me down, and he jumps in his round there, and just when he walks in, he looks at me, he's like, you're next, you're after me. I was like, oh. Looked at it, I was like, look at all these names, bro. Like, and then he went, and then I went, and that was back in the days where like there's no like, back then you don't get encouraged to jump in, you don't get like your encouragement hype, like, you know, like let's go, first time in the session, let's go, like you're all good, like it's all good, just do you. None of that back there. Like you're in the thick of the streets, like you're in the trenches, like when you jump in your first session, everyone's just like, impress us. And then I finished my round, and then my boys were there, but they didn't know what to do, so they didn't hype or anything. They were like real intimidated in that too, because our first session. And then I finished there, and at the end of the session, I was meeting everyone. I was like, sweet, nice to meet you. Like left, and I was like, bro, like how's my round? And one of the boys was like, gee, that guy, that real tight guy, he moves real different. Like Yak moves like real weird. And then they're like, he was head nodding, like he was head nodding to your round. I was like, yo, I was over the moon, bro. I was like, a head nod from Yak, yo. I was over the moon, bro. And that's the only response I got that I know of. Like I didn't hear any hype, because like, your first Krump round, you never remember what's going on. You just blank out and you move. But all I remember was one of my boys saying like, that guy was nodding to your round, like he was bouncing with it. I was like, yes. I was over the moon. So like, when I see the new people jump in these days, like, and we encourage them to hype, I'm like all for it, but at the same time I'm like,
Yeah, you're waiting to see to
yeah.
give someone else the hit nod.
Yeah, I'm like,
now you're in that
I'm like, I want to sit there like this. Where's my one? But yeah, it's always good to encourage and push people. So I like how we do that because it makes people feel more welcome.
Yeah.
And more, because it was pretty hostile back then. But I feel like that's why I'm such a battle head. Like I'm so hard headed in terms of like when we battle or like when we session. Like I'm used to traveling and going to sessions with no hype because that's how it was when I came up in Krump.
Yeah.
So like even like battling Shutdown, my first international battle at Bang Out 3, I battled Shutdown. I had the MC dogging me. I was like,
you were at Bang Out 3?
Yeah, I battled Shutdown. I had the dirty mullet, bro.
Were you in Pirates at the time, or did you become Pirates after?
That's when I first met Shutdown.
Right.
Yeah, and like first met Shuddy, and I just finished watching Bang Out 2 footage. I was watching that footage, Scrap versus Shuddy.
Shutdown. Yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah, and then Oz Rough Boy was like, bro, I got you lined up. I got you. This one before I met Rough. And I was there to visit family. I was like, yeah, can you tee us up a battle? He's like, yeah, got us. I was like, bro, I got you matched up against Shutdown. I was like, hold up. I'm in my first year at Krump, bro. I don't think I'm ready to battle Shutdown. No, you got it. I was like, oh, bro. I was laughing for ages.
Bro,
I was like, no.
I think Oz Rough Boy was stitching you up.
Yeah,
bro.
I was getting
he's from New Zealand?
Yeah, feed him, bro. I was like, damn. And then I met Shutdown. I was like, bro, when's our battle? He's like, I think we're main event. I was like, bro, what the hell? Main event? Bro, and he's like, yeah, because New Zealand versus Oz. I was like, bro. That's like, back then was when Scrap was like known. Like he was like,
oh, bro. Yeah.
And Scrappy was like, at the top. I was like, I got to meet Scrappy. I was over the moon. I was like, bro, really Shutdown. Now me and Shutdown are like tight. And I just found out earlier this year that I was Shutdown's first international battle at Bang Out 3.
That was a long
so
time
me and
ago,
Shuddy
bro.
clicked, yeah. And then we just stayed in contact and then met up. And then when I moved over to Sydney for like 5 months in 2013, that's when I became Pirates. Shuddy like helped me out, helped me keep in the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first saw you, I didn't even think I actually met you when you were there, but...
At Bang Out 3?
No, it was at, was it Buck Validation?
Oh, yeah, damn. That's a...
2014.
That event haunts me, bro.
Wow, tell me what.
Oh, I'm out here explaining my L's, bro.
We want to know what haunts you,
bro.
man.
So, Buck Validation, the first, I went to, Melbourne, Buck Validation. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to battle because Reach and Shuddy were going over there. And I was like, yeah, well, let's go. And then I stayed with Raw. And so, make it a trip and stuff. And then we had the prelims. Like, sweet prelims. And then I went in and it was like a circle. And then you had B-Dash and Beast. And then the prelims were going, they called out my name, and I was like, get in. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it. I was getting off, and then I think I did my first hit, my first big chest pop as hard as I could, or my first biggest swing. And then I remember Beast was like, oh, he hyped, and I was like, yeah, I got him. And then I was like getting off, and then because I stopped looking at the judges, and then I was just dancing. And then towards the end of my round there, I turned around and got a glimpse of the judges again, and both of them were sitting next to each other, and they were just like. Daydreaming at the floor, Beast and B-Dash were just they were over my round there. I was like, oh, hard. I'm gonna finish. I finished there and then didn't even make it through. And then they done the whole. These are the people that made it through prelims. Sweet. And then they're gonna line everyone up. They're like, all right, we're gonna make a twist. Everyone that made it line up. They're like, sweet. It's like, all right, those that didn't make it, you have a chance to call one of these people out for their spot. Yeah. And I was like, sweet. And I was like, who's the weakest? And then I was like, I think, who did I battle? I battled Rawplay. I called out Rawplay. Oh. I was like, sweet, yeah, I'm going to battle Rawplay. But I don't know who anyone was then, because I hadn't met Melvin. I was like, sweet, I'm going to battle Rawplay. I don't think it was because he was the weak. I think it was the only one I didn't know. Yeah. So I was like, sweet, I'll battle him. So I called him out. And then I freaking lost. I was like, yes! I lost. I was like, yep, not in. And then, so that was all good. And then there was the SK put-ons. Reach and Twin Street got put on. And that was crazy. And then the next day, we turned up early, me and Raw, because Raw was DJing the event. Yeah. So we were there early. And then I think it was Grudge. He pulled out because he wasn't going to make it. And then I was the only one there from the night before. So Ilkid came up. He's like, Oos, you on in the tournament? I was like, hey? And he's like, yeah, one of the people pulled out. Do you want to jump in? I was like, oh, yo, yeah. He's like, yeah, bro, all good. Got you. You're the only one here. First one here. Yeah, we'll put you in. I was like, sweet. Next minute, oh yeah, first battle we got a, was I Lunatic back then? No, I was Twin Omen. Yeah, we got Twin Omen versus Twin Street. I was like, oh, I just finished
AB.
watching this dude get off and the SK put on. It's like, yeah, and I was the first battle of the event, and I had to go first. I was like, come on, bro.
Like, come on,
And
man,
then
this is my
AB
third time.
whooped my ass too. I was like, bro, I got dogged, eh? And then so I lost that, and I was out first round. I was like, just
Did
all
he end
out.
up winning the whole thing?
I think it was him and Fly in the final.
Yeah. Something
Did he
like
win?
that.
I think Fly won that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that night was it Hit 'em versus Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was in there. I was in that battle. And then bro, and then
Damn, bro.
who was it? Yeah, I was in that
What
battle.
a trip.
Everyone was dancing, and then I think I dropped my round, and then Cryptic jumped in, and I didn't know she danced, and then she jumped in, and she just like walked in, and was like saw all of us like pushing us. I was like, oh hell no, she's about to get off, and then she like done some ground thing, and everyone just went nuts. So I was like, fuck, I'm out. I'm out, man, I'm out. And then that's when I can't remember who went after that. I think it was Brocky or the old J Shutdown, Spineless.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he went after. And then after that was when Uground went. And that was the craziest round
I
I've
think
ever
that was
seen
it
from
after that,
Uground.
eh?
Like, yeah, he shoulder hit everybody except me. I was like the only one at the back. I didn't get hit. I
Bro,
was
judging by the way your weekend went,
Bro,
you
that's
should have
that's
shouldered
what I said. That was, bro, buck validation haunts me, bro. But yeah, that event was like real eye opening. It's just like all L's, but yeah, I've had my fair share of L's.
Yeah, you take a lot of L's in early on in your career,
Yeah.
but you said you didn't. You started taking it a little more seriously once you hit 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's actually real dope because if you look at your accomplishments from then till now, bro, you've actually like
Yeah,
done quite a
achieved
lot, bro.
bit.
Like, you went to EBS.
Yeah.
Were you? I feel like you're the first one. You and 13 were the first two to ever go over there. Or was there someone else that went before?
The year before, Knowles Watchlight and EXCB went over, and they
that's
entered
right.
prelims.
That's
yeah,
right. Is that when?
that was the year before 2000. Yeah, that was 2016, I think. Yeah.
Was that when she became Under Beast? Or was that later?
Knowles?
Yeah.
Nah, that was later.
Later,
It was
yeah.
later after that. Yeah.
Okay, so those two went first, but then you went over there.
Yeah, I was the first one to qualify for top 16.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I was.
yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
So it was the second time New Zealand
Yeah.
was there, but the first time we made it to the world stage. Yeah.
Yeah. How's that like pressure wise on you? Because that would have been your first time over there. You're
Yeah.
representing your country.
It was a lot of pressure, like the build up, the lead up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prep for it, and like Omen helped me out with prep a lot. Beast helped me out with prep a lot, and yeah, the pressure like going in there, like knowing that you're the first person that from your country that's made the top 16, like to set foot on that world stage. It's there is a lot of pressure, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I gotta make sure I make it memorable. Like I put New Zealand on the map, like no one will forget it. So yeah, I was like prepping for ages. Like the prep work was hard, and then yeah, unfortunately I lost first round, another L. But yeah, it was still an accomplishment in a way, like finally getting New Zealand
Exactly. Yeah.
on the world stage, which is one thing that I've been trying to push my whole dance Krump career, was getting New Zealand out there, always repping New Zealand, because I was one of the few that was like privileged to travel early on in my Krump career, just because I have a lot of family around the world. Like my mom lives in the States and stuff, and I've got a lot of family out here, so I like use that. Like when I go visit, I always put a weekend aside or something for Krump events.
Yeah.
Just to go experience and learn, and then bring back to New Zealand some knowledge and stuff. So yeah, but the pressure going over there was crazy. Battling Joker, yeah. I even made a t-shirt going there because I knew it was the first time New Zealand was on the world stage.
I think I saw that t-shirt.
And I had a
remember.
t-shirt
Yeah.
and that's got 12 on the back, but it's in writing, made out of writing, and all the writing is like all the first gen crews, like when people made crews at school, like Star Trek fans from Murder's old first fan. You got like the Fallout Boys, the Six Philly Knockers, like all old OGs, like Alien fam, UGK, Mob, Underground Mob, New Zealand, like all of them were on my back. So it was me saying like, I'm doing this for like our whole movement from the past till the present. Yeah. So I took it, for me it was like I've got everyone with me on that stage. It's not just me on that stage. Like I didn't do this just for me. It's like we're putting our whole country, our whole history, like all this has led up to us getting on this stage. So that was the story behind my t-shirt. Yeah, so there was a lot more pressure. So I think I added extra pressure on myself. Just kept adding, like stacking it on top of myself. Like, yeah, this is it. But yeah, it's just so much for me. I like to pay my respects to the past, you know, like the people who paved the way and like struggled before us and gave us what we got now. So I wanted to like give back to them. Yeah. So
bro, yeah, that's so dope, bro. Like, cause that era, the OG era, cause that's the era that I come from too. Like, it was tough coming up in that era. A lot of things we had to go through to get Krump to where it's at. But in saying that, I feel like personally, Krump now is the best that it's ever been. Even better than our time. Like a lot of people always go, oh OG, like that era was so fun, like da da da. But when you're talking Krump was like the dance and the skill, the generation now is the best that it's ever been.
Oh man. Yeah, and it's still evolving too, which is crazy. But yeah, like a lot of people, like I like how it was back then too, in terms of like the battle culture, like because that's where we thrived, you know what I mean? Like that was us back then, like surviving in the street, like the street battles. That's where you earn your stripes and stuff. And now it's like you just lab and then you go to events.
Is it possible to like kind of mix the two? Because I feel like that's what we kind of need.
I think it is. I think there is still a bit of a mix in terms of like we always have, like in New Zealand, our events, we always have a street session before, the night before, or the night after the event. Like Treason, we have our event, and then on the Sunday we have our street session where we have our on the spot call outs or set battles for street battles, and they can bring their tracks and unlimited rounds and stuff like that. But recently, like this year, we added in a new division called the OG and Vet section, and that's like we brung the street into the event. Like it was, I had no idea how it was gonna turn out. We just risked it, and we'll just do it, and we'll see how it goes, like a trial run. So we had all our OGs and vets. Like the OGs know who they are. The vets were like you have to be dancing for 10 plus years, and that was the cutoff limit. And then I was like, this is how it's gonna go. You have 3 from each city, rep OGs, 3 OGs and vets from each city. If you don't have 3, it's all good. 1 to 3, and then we're playing tracks from that era, like from 10 years ago, whatever. Only those tracks, and then it's just like the old school days. The track's gonna play. There's no resets for each round. It's just like it's a session. So we had an OG session, and there was no track restart, and there's no set order of who goes in when. There's no one calling out names. We introduce each OG and vet that's in it, then we play the track, session starts, and all the OGs. And it was back in the days where like I wanted to bring that era where people were pushing each other out of sessions when they'd feel that round, or they'd like they wanted to jump in the session. Like, I want in. Let me have my turn. Let me take that energy. And that's exactly how it was. Like Welly took over the session at one point. Like the OGs and vets that we had in Welly were just going one after the other. And there was a point where all 3 of them were just doing like this massive chest bangs with each other, like going higher and higher. It was crazy. And then like Shepherd would jump in the middle of it and just cleared out Welly and just started getting off himself, ripping Palmy. And then straight after that, Chris jumped in. It was just crazy. And the track, I was like, tracks are going to play for 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to session and then impress the judges. And then we went into battles. But that session, we really brought the street session back into an event, into a prelim. It was crazy.
It's needed, bro.
Yeah, I was just free roam. I'm just going to MC. You OGs know how to run a session. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You guys are before my time. So this is used to show how it was back then. Go for it.
It was crazy. It's so needed, like, because like as good as it is now, like Krump, where it's at now, there's still that the new generation of Krumpers that are uneducated from like the OGs of how things. That's why at Krump Nats when they had the OG session.
Yeah.
On day 2, like that was insane.
They could feel it. They could feel it.
That was insane, man. And like that's what I mean. Like we need to figure out a way to where it's like, and that's see what you're doing is perfect example. All right, we'll bring the session to like an event so that everyone can see what it's like. But yeah, it's just all these comparing errors.
Yeah,
it's always a fun conversation to have.
Yeah, it's always,
it's like.
But I think we're like you said, where Crump's at right now is very good.
Oh, it's so
very
good, man.
Yeah,
so good. Like, what is it I was gonna ask you? So EBS, you came back. You went to. Have you crumped anywhere else?
After EBS, I flew to Paris.
For the
just
for yourself.
Yeah, because it's so far. Like New Zealand's so far from the world. The hardest thing is to get there.
Yeah.
So once I was there, I was like, I need to make sure I go places. So I went to Spain, as well, Barcelona. Caught up with some friends from school because I was friends with a lot of exchange students.
Yeah.
So I've got like a lot of friends around the world and stuff, and I keep in contact with them. So we all met up in Barcelona and stuff. And then after I went to Paris, hung out with Rugged Beast, got to chill with him, get to know him more, and then chilled with the France scene, the Paris scene, and I battled. I caught out Kid NY. I landed there, and Prince was like, "Yo, what you wanna do?" I was like, "I wanna battle Kid NY." And he's like, "Really? You wanna battle Kid NY?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? He's the best here, isn't he?" He's like, "Yeah."
That's dope.
I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I text. I think he texts Balas. Or he sent a voice message to Balas. Like, Balas, they're speaking French. He's like, "Hey, he wants to battle Kid NY." Balas is like, "Whoa, la la." And then they set it up, and it was like set up and stuff. Street battle. It was real good. But wherever I go, I always try battle the best because I feel like I'm up there in New Zealand, so I can 100%. See where my level or where New Zealand's level is at with that country. And not to say I'm at like the top of New Zealand, but I'm amongst the top of New Zealand, so I can kind of, wave at us.
I know you don't want to like toot your own horn and stuff like that, but everybody knows like, and it's not by, random coincidence. Like, if anyone who's followed your career can see why you're where you are, and how. If you, because there's a lot of people that want to accomplish what you've accomplished already, like, what would your advice be for those people?
Just keep your passion for what you're doing, like what you love to do. Like for me with Krump, I fell in love with Krump as soon as I found it. As soon as I watched Rise, as soon as I started like moving in a Krump form and understanding why and what it did for me, it went from like a hobby into a passion, into a career, and I'm still enjoying it. Throughout those three things that it evolved to, I've enjoyed it every time. And just stay having fun with what you want to do. Don't do things that you don't enjoy. I don't really like to live in that way. So for me with Krump, I had people like tell me to stop. Like they're like, there's no future in it. There's like, what's it gonna get you? Like you can only go so far. And for me at the time, like I said, I only took it serious from 2016. So for the first 7 years of Krump, I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. Like I was just dancing because of what it did for me. It was my place to escape. It was my place to express. It was my place to hang with my friends, like all my boys, the people I grew into brothers, families. So that's where like people kind of
sorry about that.
people were judging me off what they saw, but not what they knew. They didn't give me or give Krump the time of day to understand why are you dancing. Like it's got nothing for you. I was like, it's not a career path for me right now. This is my release. This is where I go. This is my weekends. Like this is my house party.
True that.
And so and because that's how I stayed, I didn't listen to the negative things because I understood that they didn't understand why I was doing what I did. They didn't understand why I enjoyed it or why it makes me feel good. So I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna stop doing what makes me feel good just to please other people, to make them feel good. You know what I mean? So and now it's led me to traveling the world. Krumps took me to Germany, to Paris, to USA, multiple states in the USA. It's took me to multiple states in Australia, and now it's taking me to Japan. It's crazy. Without Krump, I probably wouldn't have traveled the world. So I'd say just follow your passion. No matter how many negative thoughts there are, or people, just push them aside and keep going. Stick to the people who encourage you to move the way you want to.
I love that advice, man. It's so true, because the amount of Krumpers we've lost just because someone has said to them, don't waste your time doing this stuff. You know.
And it gets hard though, the whole balancing life and Krump. I know it's hard to really, make a living off just dance and stuff. But it's just finding that balance. If I work 2 jobs. I had 3 earlier this year. But I stayed enjoying those jobs as much as I could. But for me to dance, knowing I had to train and practice for all these events coming up after work all those times, I enjoyed it because I know Krump is what I want to do. So outside of work, it didn't feel like a job. It was something I wanted to do. So I enjoyed all my trainings and stuff, and that's the difference. That's that balance. But it is. I understand why some people leave due to work. They need to work. They need to make money. They need to put bread on their table. So it is. It's just finding that balance is super hard. But if you're willing, if you're super passionate about what you want, you'll find a way. You'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. One more thing before I let you go. Where to from here, man? What is the future looking like Krump wise for 12 as fuck? You just mentioned you're heading to Japan.
Yep.
You got that, but what's in the future for you, man?
For me, next up is KOB. Connect with more people. But back home wise is just continuing to build the movement, build the community. We have a good community back home. And we're in very good hands with our community leaders. But for me, right now in Wellington, I'm trying to get involved with the youth, with the schools. I've been teaching at a school all year. And that's kind of one of the reasons I posted up on Instagram saying I couldn't make it to EBS because of certain things, certain opportunities. So it wasn't all negative. And one of the reasons was because I got an opportunity to teach at a school and it fell along the same days as EBS. So I had to make a choice, Worlds or teach at the school and really give into the movement. So for me right now, I'm trying to get into the schools, target the youth, the younger generation, where they are at a good age where they can make the decision of, should I become a dancer, or can I use this as an outlet, a new form of outlet or creativity, or a place to escape, as in, not even just make a career out of it, just a new way for them to release and express what they're going through and stuff. And that's just where I'm at. I'm just trying to find new ways to get the youth involved, target a younger generation for the next generation. Because I noticed we get a lot of our new generation we kind of get lately, the last couple of years have all been mid-20s, early 20s or late 20s. And it's
we need new gen.
New gen. It's good to have those people there so they know what Krump is and stuff and they give it a go, but they're already most of them are already at a point in their life where they'll only be in Krump for a year or 2 max, and then they'll realize there's actually they'll either stick in it for the release side or their hobby, their passion, they love to do it, or they'll be I need to focus on work, I need to focus on what I've been focusing on. So getting the younger generation in for me right now is most important.
I feel they're a lot more teachable too.
Oh yeah, and they're creative. Their creative thing is crazy. I taught at the Lighthouse when I was up there for Battle Zone, and I just taught for a quick 40 minutes, an hour, and there was these kids were creative. They were so bubbly. They were happy. They were enjoying it, and the stuff they were coming up with was crazy. I was I taught them hat basics, just something fun, and then they started creating stories with it. I'm whoa, you guys already created
Bro,
like
there's kids
concerts
at
and
that
yeah.
watch the lighthouse. I
Yeah.
just feel like they're all like,
the lighthouse. Yeah, that's somewhere that's like really inspiring me right now too.
yeah,
To
I gotta
get
get out
involved with
there.
youth, yeah.
That's one place I would like to go visit. Is the lighthouse. I
Have
think
to, bro. Have to.
some good stuff happening over there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, 12 AF. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you for having me, brother.
All the best, Japan. All your goals moving forward.
Yeah.
And this isn't just a one time.
Yeah, we
thing,
gotta
man.
get this going again. I've been
Yeah,
watching
bro.
these for a while. I'm like, yeah, I need to get my seat on this podcast.
I gotta
man.
come out to Treason because one of my goals is to kind of hit every event that's out there. I've been to Krump Nats. I went to Christchurch earlier this year, so I definitely have Treason in my sights. I'd like to come out
sure.
and maybe jump in that OG
Bro,
section.
if we get, bro, I'll talk to the fans. We'll open it up. You just jump in here. That's what OGs do. They just jump in everything. But yeah, Treason will definitely be happening in 2020. So
Yeah.
for sure, we'll get those dates out as soon as we have them. Yeah, we're still talking about dates and stuff, but yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
12, my man.
Thank you, brother.